Hey Kim, hope you are doing well. Here is your website audit. So looking for Made Machine Vancouver, it looks like you don't have a map listing, is that correct? If so, I would make this a priority to get this done. If you don't have a Gmail account, get one and use it for a month or two and then go through these next steps. So just Google Business Profile. It'll bring you to this page where you'll sign in and you'll just follow the steps here, and then you'll get a postcard sent to your address. It's super easy, it's free to do. Highly recommend you get that done. Coming back here to your site, so there's a cap on how many characters you can have in your title and description, so it's hard to know what all is said in here. But I do believe there's room for some optimization on both these sections, as they're very important for getting people to click on your website. And so just kind of rearranging this and saying a few different things in here instead of just locations will probably get you higher click-through. Coming onto your site, the first thing I look for is heading tags, which tells Google what to read first when it comes onto your site. Although most of the tags are tagged correctly, the actual content isn't serving your site. And so the tags range from H1 to H6 based on importance. And so here in your title, it is tagged H1. So this is the first thing Google is reading when it comes onto your website. So it's not really telling Google much about what you do. In this H1 section, you should have your top keyword plus your location. Something like custom curtains and blinds in Vancouver. So I know you say North Vancouver and West Vancouver, but it's hard to try and rank for both locations at the same time with the one site because Vancouver is so large. Which area would you say is most profitable or has the biggest potential? I would suggest positioning your site for that area, even though your actual franchise area is much larger. An alternative method to that would be having location tabs in your menu, and under location it would be North Vancouver, West Vancouver, and then you would even go further in saying like areas in North Vancouver and areas in West Vancouver. So for your photos, kind of down here, I think it looks like they're being pulled from Instagram. I would recommend adding photos directly onto the site. So this is another area where you can be adding keywords and location inside your photos. So when Google comes onto your site and looks at these photos, this is what it's reading about that photo. And so there's something called alt text, which when you put a photo onto your site, like a normal photo, you can add words into the image. So an example would be, let's see here. No. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one. So these guys have named their photo, Budget Blinds Install Van, and then they also have the alt text here, Budget Blinds Install Van. And so Google knows basically what this is. And so when we're looking at the photos on your page, yeah, I would recommend having actual photos that you put on yourself instead of them being pulled from a third party. When we're looking at your competitors' sites, overall, you have less content, and less pages. And so these guys have 37 pages. These guys have 17,000 pages. And they have 100 pages. And here you have 17 pages indexed. A good idea is to kind of visit your top competitors' sites and just see like where are they getting all their pages from. So you look at, their services, their blinds, their shades, their shutters. So all the things here, I'm sure you do all the same things. So it's a good idea to kind of, use these guys' sites as giving ideas as to like the kinds of places where you can maybe get a few more pages for your site as well. And obviously the blog is kind of where a lot of these guys are able to get much larger amounts of pages onto their site. Just obviously be sure, when you're using other people's content for ideas, that you don't plagiarize. Another thing I noticed, because, looking at your site, I think it's pretty easy to tell you should have more than 17 pages here, and you do, but Google isn't indexing all your pages. And so I would recommend heading over to Google Search Console. So again, you just Google Search Console, come in here and follow the steps, and you can get a sitemap for your site, which helps Google crawl all your pages. And so this should be more like probably 25 or 30. For your keywords, by having more content on your site, you're able to incorporate a much larger amount of keywords without it sounding weird or stuffy. And so when we're looking at your keywords, the top 2 search terms are curtains and blinds. These 2 search terms were far and above the highest search volumes that I found. And just looking at, this represents kind of searches per month, which is a very kind of an estimate. I like to look at it as this search term gets more results than this search term. And so kind of just looking down the list of search terms here, you can see that, there's a lot of these terms that you do. And so having these specific words on your site is going to be important for you being found for these kinds of words. Again, same thing here with curtains. Like I'm sure there's tons of stuff down here that you could be saying, but you aren't saying. When we're looking at keyword density, we're looking at how many times you say a word on your site. And so blinds, you've said 16 times. And when we're looking at your top competitors, this guy said blinds 32 times. These guys are 19 times. Oh, this is the blog section. These guys are 32 times on their homepage. And these guys are 28 times. So overall, the trend is nearly double the amount of times you should be saying blog on your homepage. So you're about 16. The trick with SEO, well, it's not really a trick, but you can find out a lot about what Google's looking for based on the results it's already providing. And so when we switch this up to curtains, you've got 1 time here. These guys have curtains 0 times. These guys have curtains 0 times. And these guys have curtains 0 times. And so when we're looking at search volume, there's obviously a huge opportunity here because your top competitors in this space don't say anything about curtains, but people are searching for curtains. And so I would say if you optimize your site for both blinds and curtains, you should be getting some easy traffic. So that about does it for the on-site portion of my SEO advice. In my opinion, especially in Vancouver, the competition is strong. I would also recommend implementing a backlinking strategy to build up your site's trust, which would be the off-site SEO part. I know you had said you're contractually obligated with this other marketing company for the time being, and I hope that's getting you some results. When you're ready, let's find a time to chat and on the phone and discuss the next possible steps. All right, thanks.